Fast cars, shooting stars, order the lights, order the lights. Yo, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Listen, I know it's been a minute. I ain't gonna lie, I'm just hella inconsistent with this shit. Cause that's just me personally. That's just bullshit. But listen, I wanted to do a reaction about this video that I seen. It's called Black Lesbian Activist Debates LGBT Issues. Claims dialogue was personally damaging. Personally damaging. I don't know. But yeah, I seen this video. I wanted to react to it and I just got home. I don't know if y'all could. I didn't even take out my fucking I didn't even took off my keys yet. But I just got home. So forgive me. So while I ate and before I got comfortable and had to do my other worthy duties, I wanted to do a reaction to this video real quick. So it's gonna be a long one. So grab a popcorn, get something to eat. Um, and yeah, hopefully I enjoy it. Let me just make me a little bit bigger and see where's the best place to put me. And I hope, yo, first and foremost, man, I hope y'all doing good. I hope y'all having a good day. I hope everything is good. I hope life is good. And if I know sometimes it's not always 100% good, hopefully it's at least 80% good versus the 20% bad. You feel me? Yeah, that's what I strive for. I know it's not always gonna be 100% good, but uh, mm, as long as it's above 50%, can't complain, right? Just count your blessings. All right, y'all. Let's get into the subject.
Restless, I am so restless, and this changing world leaves me speechless. Transgender law. Um, Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. America is divided over same sex marriage and transgender laws. My guest today is Tamika Buckler, co chair of the National Center for Lesbian Rights. She received her JD from Stanford Law School in 2009. Thank you so much for being with me.
Thanks for having me.
So, you're a lawyer?
I'm a lawyer by training, but I no longer practice law.
Oh, yeah? Why is that?
It wasn't for me.
Really?
I sucked at it.
Yeah, I practiced employment law at a legal aid office, and I focused on race discrimination, gender discrimination, and LGBT discrimination. And I had great clients. The work was really important, but I didn't like being a litigator.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, I was raised in a black family. My grandmother, every time I talk to her, tells me how she's praying for me.
She's praying that you overcome that.
No, she's just praying that I'm safe out here. She thinks LA can be a little crazy, but she's probably was easier to accept than even my parents.
Oh, really? Your grandmother? And how does God feel about?
That's kind of interesting. That I would figure like the older generation would have more of an issue with like her being trans, I guess, versus like that's interesting.
Homosexuality?
He created me, um, and if he didn't want me to be this way, then I imagine he wouldn't have created me this way.
I agree that God created us. Do you believe that God created homosexuality, the spirit, the sin of homosexuality, or did some type of trauma happen to bring that on?
I can't speak for everyone, but in my life, there was no trauma that brought it on. I was raised by both of my parents. My dad was in the military. I traveled the world. I had two parents who loved me, who were always there for me, who coached my teams, who always showed up at school. I was a great student. Obviously, I got into Stanford Law School, and I think he created me to be a strong black queer woman, and I don't know that I believe it's a sin.
There's men and women who are overcoming homosexuality every day. What do you say to those people?
Everyone leads their own journey. If someone believes that it's something for them to overcome, then that's their opinion. I personally don't feel that way. And I think, in fact, there are many people who are much happier when they just accept who they are.
Do you believe that most human beings are in a fallen state?
What do you mean?
Meaning that they have fallen away from God. And in that fallen state, they are unconscious. They don't have the awareness of God, so wrong seem right and right seem wrong to them.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting question.
So, do I believe most humans are in a fallen state? I
Yeah.
don't know that I believe that most humans. I think there are people who are Christian, and I think those people might self-identify that way. But I don't know that I think everyone is that way.
When did you know that you were a lesbian?
Pretty early on, probably in middle school, we got cable, and there was the show on MTV, The Real World, and they had gay people on that show, and I think that's the first time I even knew what the word gay meant,
Right.
and I think that's when it really made sense for me.
I want to say this because me, excuse me, me and some of my boys were having a conversation about this. One of them is gay, so I asked them. I asked them, how did you know you were gay? Like, what made you feel like you were gay? He told me, for first of all, he said he was gay for fun. Like, bullshit ass answer, but I guess he, like, so you're being gay because you thought it was fun? Like, and then he said it was because, like, I guess he wanted to kind of spite his dad in a way. Like, he wanted to, like, kind of spite his dad or get back at his dad or some shit like that. But finally, I pushed him more. I'm like, yo, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, what made you? What? How did you know you were gay? First, he said that this, like, he was attracted to boys. Like, he just always been attracted. Like, he found a guy, like, oh, that nigga sexy, that nigga cute. The same way I would see a girl and be like, damn, she bad as hell, she fine, she gorgeous. I'm trying to fuck, da 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 da, and shit like that. So I'm like, okay, if that was the case, then when did you first act on that experience? Like, what made you act on that experience? Like, you could be attracted to somebody and not be sexually attracted to them. Like, I could think Chris Brown is an attractive guy, but I'm not attracted to him to the point where I want to fuck or I'm thinking about fucking him like I would do with females. So I asked them, what made you feel that way, that to the point that you're going around that you want to fuck dudes and shit? So he was like, he really doesn't know that. It was just like he was like, it was an experiment. Like, he liked them, and then one guy was, I guess, was, they was cool with it, whatever, and then they took it to the next level, and then now he enjoyed it. So he kept going with that shit. My other friend was trying to argue but that people are born gay. I'm like, I don't believe that shit at all. I do not believe that shit. The example I would say, and then because, well, as we having this conversation, he's like, okay, you know what? I changed the word, and then, okay, it's not people being born gay, this and that, because it's like, I was born with sickle cell. I can't change that shit. It's just the chronic disease that I was born with that I got from my parents. I was born with sickle cell anemia. Some niggas could be born with fucking diabetes or high blood pressure or whatever the hell they could be born with, but that's something that you're born with, that's hardwired in your DNA. We can't look at people being gay in the same way as that. Because I feel, because I asked my gay friend, like, yo, he's like, he has brothers and sisters. I'm like, all right, cool, but you're predominantly closer with your sister than you are with your brother. I never hear you talk on the phone with your brother or this and that with your brother, da 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 da. He goes, yeah, because I'm more closer to my sister. I'm like, I feel like that has to have some sort of impact on you being gay. If you were closer to your brothers, it would have been different. He's like, oh yeah, but we lived in the same. I'm like, yeah, you could live in the same household, but who are you closer with? He was like the female side. So I feel like it has to do with the shit that's outside of the world. Like, nobody is born gay. Like, I refuse to believe that shit, that people are just born gay. And if somebody in the comment is saying that they were born gay, please explain to me how you were born gay, how you felt like you came out. Because when we come out the womb, we don't know. We don't even know. We really don't know shit. We don't even know, like, same sex marriage, I mean same sex marriage, or even different, like, heterosexual love. We don't know none of that shit. We just come out the womb, like, all of that shit we learn as we go on. Like, me liking females is probably because, I was just raised, because I was raised by my aunt and my mom. My pops passed away when I was very young, so I was raised by my aunt and my mom. But that, I still knew that a man is supposed to be a man, and a man and woman are supposed to be together. I was never exposed to this gay shit going on in the world or the TV or whatever the case might be. Now that she said that her first time being exposed to that shit was watching a TV show called The Real World. Now, if she had never seen that TV show at such a young and impressionable age, would this person still be lesbian today? If to me, I say the answer is no, but there's really no way to say. You could argue yes, but if the answer is no, and she's not gonna be that person, then you weren't born gay. Because no matter what you see or what you don't see, if you're born something, you're born. Like I'm born black. No matter what I do, no matter what I see in the world, I'm not gonna fucking think I'm white. None of that shit. And if I do think I'm white, that's a mental disorder in my head going on. That's something wrong mentally in my fucking mind that's saying that, oh, everything is saying that I'm black, but I'm thinking I'm white. That's a mental defect. That's not normal. So people saying that they were born gay, I don't believe that shit because it's impossible for you to be born gay. And people that says God accepts it. Even I don't want to go religions there because everybody got their own opinion on religion, and it's not something that's like that's hard proof. Like it's intent. Religion is concept. You feel me? Is what you see in it and how you see it. Like religion is fickle. So, but if all the books, Adam and Eve were the first humans created. If God was okay with homosexuality, he would have made Adam or Adam and John. But he made Adam and Eve, not even Vanessa, not even fucking Jasmine. Like, no, it was just Eve. It was Adam and Eve. So people saying that God will be okay with it, I don't agree with that shit. I don't think God will be okay with homosexuality. And now, am I saying that is wrong for you to be homosexual and live in your truth? No, you do whatever the fuck you want. Just as long as that truth is not being pushed on other people that don't agree with it. Like as long as I'm not attacking you, I'm not calling you homophobic slurs, I'm not doing this, and that, I'm not committing hate crimes, we're cool. But if it gets to the point where you making it seem like I have to do certain shit or move a certain way for you because you're homosexual, I'm not agreeing with that. I don't care with that. So her saying that she was exposed to it of the real world shit, and that's when she's like, damn, okay, this is what I am. Because how could you be born gay if you don't even know what the fuck being gay is? Like you see the contradiction here. It don't make sense to me.
There are Christians who disagree with homosexuality. There are Christian bakers
Hmm.
who refuse to bake a wedding cake and participate in a same sex wedding,
Hmm.
and they're now being fined and punished for that. Should a Christian private business be forced to participate in a so called same sex wedding?
We can all agree that anybody who's being discriminated against the law is wrong. And
I
it's
know,
some
but if you have a private business, if you wake up one day and you decide, I'm going to start my own business, I'm going to use my money, my energy, my time, shouldn't you have the right to discriminate against whomever you want to?
Yes, yes. Now, if you make a business and you say no blacks allowed, that's a hate crime. That's a different thing. Now, if you're saying that you don't wanna, because there's no religious thing that's against black people or against race. At least I don't think there is. If there is, y'all let me know. I could be wrong. But if you're making, if you own a private business and you don't want to cater and you don't want your brand to be known with like homophobic weddings, not homophobic, homosexual weddings or same sex marriage, whatever the fuck it is, you as an individual and as that business owner should have 100% right to say, nah, I'm good. Just yo, I can't do it because it's my religion. I don't believe in that. Da, 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 da. You as an individual should be able to make that decision. I don't think the government. This is what I say. As long as if you want to be free, then let me be free. The government shouldn't be forcing niggas to call people their so-called proper pronouns when they don't want to be fucking when they don't want to call them that. Like I don't feel like the government should have any right in that because then now it's no longer free.
It might not be good for you financially, but you do have a right who you can serve.
Going back to my grandmother who grew up, in South Carolina at the height of racism, there were private businesses who told her she could not sit at the lunch counter. There were private businesses who told her she could not drink from their water fountains. And there were people who stood up and said that was wrong. You have to respect the law. And if the law says you cannot discriminate, then you should not discriminate.
But even in those days when your grandmother and others were forcing private businesses to service them, they were wrong for doing that because no one has a right to impose upon a private business. So even back then, I thought that that was wrong. And I grew up under the Jim Crow laws. I remember the colors.
I could agree to that. Like if I'm going to a restaurant they don't want me to be there, I'm not gonna force them to have me be there. Why would I force somebody that hates me or an establishment that's full of people that hate me versus whether it's my race or my sexuality? Why would I force them to have me in there? That just opens the door for me to get more problems. And then if I get shot, if I get lynched or whatever the case might be, then niggas have the opportunity to say, oh, why didn't he just go to the restaurant down the block? Like, why would you put yourself in that position?
only signs. But I've always thought that if I own a business, I have a right to service who I want. No
A
government or
business.
anyone else should be able to tell me who to service.
And so I guess that's one of those issues where we just fundamentally disagree. Like I think
Let me ask you this: is it right to do that for a group of people to force you, with your own private business, to service them if you don't want to?
I think it's right once we as a country say there is a law. I think it is right for people to respect that law. And often that means you cannot discriminate against other people.
What I don't understand about and it's mostly radical LGBT people, they are going around the country and they are looking for Christian businesses and organizations to impose themselves upon. What is wrong with them that they think they have a right to do that, and the Christians don't have a right to fight back? Why? I don't see them doing it to Muslims or Jewish businesses. What is wrong with them that they think they have a right to impose upon Christians?
Well, for me, I think it's a hard question to answer because I don't think it's a good question. I think the premise just I don't know that I agree with it. I don't know what a radical LGBT person is. You have cases, and cases come from real life incidents, and I think that more times than you have so-called radical folks, I think you actually have folks like my wife and I who just say, "I want a really good cake. I like dessert." And I heard
So go to the.
from my friends that this place has good cake. And so you go to that place and you don't expect to be discriminated against. You don't expect to be
But I don't
violated.
agree with that. When you go in there and you say, "I want a gay cake, a homosexual cake,"
What is
you are,
homosexual cake?
because it's
Because
for
I
a
think the same
homosexual couple, right?
if you and I eat the same cake, my cake isn't homosexual because I'm gay. Just like if we order pizza and you take a slice and I take a slice, it's not a gay pizza.
But why would you pass up a gay bakery to go to a Christian bakery that you know does not want to service you?
I don't want to presuppose that I know.
But no, you know that most Christians don't want to participate in that.
Oh, I don't think that's
That's
true.
why they attack. I mean, you have some that do, but most
I don't think
don't.
that's true.
If
Just
you went to a Christian baker, would you sue them? Would you personally sue them?
I don't know. I'd probably talk to my wife, and we'd probably make that decision together. And I think it would depend on what we experienced.
But you know your own heart. Would you want to sue them?
I was raised by strong black women who taught me that I only got where I was because other people stood up and said when things were wrong. And so I think that the reason I was a civil rights lawyer, I think the reason I do civil rights work is because I was raised to believe that you have to speak up when people do things that aren't right.
So you would sue them.
I would speak up.
But would you sue?
Like I said, if it was me and my wife, I would talk to my wife.
When you say wife and you being a woman, that doesn't sound, I mean, I understand that you like that and you accept it, but it doesn't sound strange to you to say me and my wife and you are a female?
No, it feels great. It feels great to find a person who loves me for who I am, who supports me, who makes me laugh, who does the laundry when I don't do the laundry. That feels really really awesome to have a partner in life who I know I can always depend on. Makes me happy.
Does it bother you that the two of you can't have children together?
I think it's inaccurate to say as two women we can't have children. We can have children.
But you can't not together.
No, you can't.
You
But,
can't get
but
in
again,
bed
my
with-
heterosexual friends can't have
I
children
know, but
together
that's an
either.
abnormal situation. Normally, a man and a woman can have a baby, but due to some type of defect, you do find cases where a woman might not be able to have children, have a baby, or a man can't make it. But there's no way that you and another woman can get in bed and make a baby. Do you ever wonder, well, if God made me a homosexual and he intended for me to be with another woman, knowing that I would want a family, why did he make it possible for me to lay down with another woman and make a baby? Have you ever thought about that?
I feel like in conversations like this, religion should be taken out of it. Like the spiritual aspect, the spiritual realm should be taken out of it. I feel like God should be taken out of it because it's a moot point. Somebody could say, I'm sorry. Somebody could say, God don't like gay people, and another nigga could say, well, another the person that they're talking to could refute that. Will say, well, my God does. How do you know that God don't like? Have you spoken with God? Like, I feel like things that we cannot back up with scientific facts. I'm not saying God does not exist, but I'm saying in conversations like this, God should be excluded out of it just to make that person stand on exactly what they stand on, and we remove all the wiggle room that they could have to use religion. So I don't know why. What's this nigga's name? Lee. Fuck. Well, Jason Lee, something Lee, Jesse Lee, Jesse Lee. I don't know why Jesse is involving God or religion or the astronomical into this or the supernatural, whatever you want to call it, the spiritual. I don't think that should be in a conversation like this.
I believe God has created all of us. So if
See?
God created the people who figured out how to help my heterosexual friends who very much want children, and the fact that He created a way for them to do that, that we as a world, as a people, have figured out how to operate in those situations, that leads me to believe that it is possible. So it doesn't feel weird. And you can
You don't
ask me
believe that?
four different ways,
Do
but
you believe?
I'm never gonna think it's weird because
Do,
it's who I am.
do you believe that children need the influence of a father and a mother?
I think children need the influence of people who love them and care about
How
them.
about a father and a mother? Do you believe that they need that influence of a father and a mother?
I have had too many friends who have been raised by single parents. One
She's not answering the question, bro. She's dodging the question and bringing up all the bad shit that happened to friends with single parent households or like all the good shit. That's not the question.
as
That's
a
not what he
military
asked.
kid where I have had friends and I have had people in my community whose parents have died serving our country. I have had too many people who I know and who I respect and who I love who have been raised by single parents, dads or moms, to believe that it is impossible to raise a brilliant, loving, mature
Give
child.
me a yes
That's not what he said. He didn't say it. He didn't ask if it was impossible for a single parent to raise. Because I was raised by a single parent, but he asked, does it make what he asked if it's good if a kid should be raised there, with a mom and a father thing.
or no to the question. Do you believe that the
I just
children,
did.
boys and girls, need the influence of their father and mother?
I just answered your question. I'm sorry if you didn't
Yeah,
understand
I
it.
missed it. I'm black and slow.
So
So, do, do they need the influence of a father and a mother?
I think it is my belief that children need the influence of people who love them, care about them,
Is
and
that a
Then the nigga just say no.
support
no to
them.
my question?
I'm sorry I answered your question.
As a Christian, do you believe in sin?
I
Alright. So here's what I was saying before my fucking tooth. Bro, I gotta go to the dentist, bro. My shit killing me. My dentist ain't available until the fucking 30th, so I gotta thug it out. God damn. Alright. So listen, as a person that was raised by a single mother, I can say yes. Yes. A child needs both mother and father in their life to really be a well balanced, well rounded individual. It's gonna take them a long time to figure out, and it's gonna cost a lot of fucking heartache and a lot of pain for that child. Like I figured it out, but like somebody asked me like, what would I have benefited from having a father figure in my life? You know what I told him? I would have benefited on knowing how to control my emotions at an earlier age than I do now. I would benefit in having strong role models and knowing what's wrong and what's right and what's wrong versus having to like deal with shit on what you might call it on an emotional level and shit like because I still get emotional at times and I really think it's because I was raised by two moms but they were rational and good. So I'm not gonna say two moms, no, my mom and my aunt, by two women. So it brings rational. They're good women. They're smart. They know what the fuck they doing. So that's why I turned out how I am, damn near because of them. Now let's say, and then there's other shit. I would have learned how to change the tire on a tar. tire what the fuck tire on the car a lot sooner than I do today. I would have learned how to fix how to fix the microwave or how to switch certain shit without having to go to YouTube for it or shit like that. I would have a fatherly presence in me. I would know I would know how to handle bullies a lot better than when my cause you know what your mom and what my mom told me when I was dealing with bullies, tell the teachers, don't hit back, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I tell my little brother when he has bullies? If they touch you, knock they shit in, bro. Knock them the fuck out. Cause they not gonna stop if you tell the teacher that shit just gonna make it 20 times worse. Like I would have a lot of experiences that a man would need, a lot of guys that a boy would need to be a man if I had a father in my life. So and let's say it was a daughter, it was same shit. A lot of these daughters that have no fucking fathers in their life, look how they turn out. Look at what they doing. Like all of this shit, yes, 100% yes, you need both mom and dad to raise a nice, healthy, well-rounded individual of a child. Not saying it can't be done dolo, because it has been done, and yes, but eventually you gonna need that shit. If I didn't have the mindset to like, if my mom or aunt didn't have the mindset to be like, yo, to know to just be a logical fucking woman and to not really act on their feelings so much, and my mom did way more. I don't get along with my mom as much as I do with my aunt. Hate to say it, but that's the truth. If if I had a father figure and shit like that, there's a lot more shit I would have done, like money. I wouldn't know how to move smarter with money. I would have under my mom always told me that don't fuck up with my credit card, but she didn't explain why. So I never understood the importance. I just said, man, whatever, I don't care about that. And now I really had to build my shit back up. If I had a father figure that knew what they were doing and told me that shit, the importance of credit, bro. Yo, you could buy. If I knew the importance of credit like I knew now, I would have never fucked in my credit card like I did as a teen, as a youth. Like a man's part in a life, in a child's life is just as important and vital as a mother's part in that child in life.
I believe in sin, yeah.
And what is sin?
Um, I, for me, the easiest way to explain it, especially for non-Christians, is I try to lead a life where I don't treat people differently than I want to be treated.
So, what is sin?
I, again, I'm sorry that we're missing each other, but I feel like I answered that question.
To treat
No,
people the
you
way you like
didn't.
to be treated?
I feel like the cardinal sin is not treating other people well.
So when radical homosexuals impose on Christians who don't want to participate in their lifestyle, is that a sin?
I don't know what a radical homosexual is. And
The
so
the ones who are trying to get the laws changed. For example, there's a Oregon couple fined $135,000. Colorado Supreme Court refused to hear another baker's appeal. So I want to know from you, should the court have the power to force bakers to make same-sex wedding cakes? And is that a sin to force them to do it?
So I think that the court has the power to enforce the law, and I think the Colorado court deciding not to hear the case was a victory for equality and a victory for anyone who doesn't believe in discrimination.
So let's go back to sin. What is sin? Tell me again, what is sin? Is there any other sin besides treating each other the way we would like to be treated?
I mean, what do you think?
I say, yeah, a whole bunch of them.
Like what?
Two men or two women acting as though there's a man and a woman. God is not for that. He didn't create that sin, and He would want you to overcome it. That's why Christ came, so that we could overcome the, sin.
But
Sins.
I would I you know I
This is that's why I say don't bring religion. It's too vague, bro. It's too
don't know all
open
gay
to religion is too open to interpretation, gang. Way too open.
people, but I feel like it's not about pretending like one of you is a man and one of you is a woman. It's just being who you are and being open to love and being loved.
So as a Christian, you don't know what sin is. That's the only sin that you know is to treat each other differently than you would like to be treated.
No,
Are
I
there
didn't
any other sins?
I didn't say that that was the only sin.
Give me the example of some more.
What I said in response to your question is it a sin to force people to bake a cake that they don't want to bake because of their religion? My response to that question was that I think that what courts are supposed to do, understanding the legal system, courts are supposed to,
I know,
there's
but let's go back to sin. As a Christian, give me other examples, a couple other examples of sin.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure what sin is?
I'm not sure.
Transgender people are now in the mix. And they want, if a man feel like a woman, he want to go into the woman's bathroom. If a woman feel like a man, they want to be able to go into the men's bathroom. Is that right? Should that be allowed?
So I think a couple thoughts about what you said. I don't think that transgender people are now in the mix. I think transgender people have always been around. I think
Like this bitch loves not answering questions, bro. Transgender people are now in the mix because this is the most ever in history that we're getting this many people coming out as transgender or I'm not in that wrong body. Like it's definitely now versus it was back in even if y'all don't want to even go back to the 1900s, fine, back in the fucking 200s, bro. Two hundreds, 2000s, bro. 2005, 10, transgender was not popping like this, bro. Niggas was barely coming out gay.
they've been around throughout history. And I think the reality is people want to pass a law saying, oh, hey, like, we need to stop people from going into the bathroom that we're determining they shouldn't be in. But the reality is, you're already using the men's bathroom with people who are transgender, just like people are already using women's bathrooms with people who are transgender. So is it is it right? I think that people should be able to use the bathroom that they want to use.
So you're saying yes, if a man decides that he feels like a woman, he's at a football game, had a couple beers, and he said, you know what, I'm going into the ladies' bathroom. I feel like a woman right now. He should be able to go into that bathroom. He
I
has a
don't
right.
I don't want to be combative, but I'm not going to answer questions that describe people in ways in which they're not. And somebody who is transgender is not just someone who feels like a woman on a particular day because they've had a few beers. I think that's disrespectful.
It's not the question. Your answer specifically agrees with the question you just said. Cause you said I don't know if she even know what she said. She said people should be able to, if they feel like they belong in this bathroom, people should be able to go in the bathroom that they feel like they belong in, that they want to go in. If I feel like I want to go into the female's bathroom today, because I just woke up and I'm like, you know what? I'm transgender. I was born in my wrong body today. I'm gonna go, so I should be allowed to go use the female bathroom then. By your definition, then yes. Don't change now.
To transgender people. And so I'm not going to describe people in a way that is not accurate because
So
I
let's
wouldn't
say
want
that you
people to
have
describe
men
me.
who feel like women and they're dressing in women clothing. They have identified as a transgender, full-fledged person. Should they be allowed to go into the bathroom of choice?
if if I am a person who is transgender and I feel more comfortable and I feel more safe using whichever bathroom, then I should be able to use that bathroom.
And so
What about what? So the world just revolves around what you feel. What about what the other? What about what other people feel? Well, what about the other people that don't feel safe for their kids and that shit? I don't want my dad asking my dad. I don't want my son, my hypothetical son, asking me, "Hey, daddy." Actually, fuck it. I don't want my hypothetical daughter asking me, "Hey, daddy, why does that girl have a penis?" And then she just looking at that shit. And daddy, what is that? I don't want my little girl seeing that shit because some nigga felt like he was more comfortable in that shit. You wanna know here's a easy solution to this? Trans people petition to have your own bathrooms. Why are you guys so fucking against that having your own bathrooms? Why? Why are you against having a place that is safe and neutral specifically just for you so you can use so you can avoid all of that shit? Cause let's say I see my if that's my daughter talking about daddy, why did that man have a penis while he was peeing? I'm gonna go to jail that day. I'm gonna go to jail for assault that day. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm going to jail for assault that day. So to avoid all of that shit, why would you not want to be in the same bathroom with people that you claim you're comfortable around and that you are? Why y'all so against that shit?
the straight person doesn't have a choice in that. Oh, say so.
More safe using whichever bathroom then I should be able to use that bathroom.
And so the straight person doesn't have a choice in that. Oh, say so. If they don't want that because they feel imposed upon, or you, let's say my daughter is going into the women's bathroom, but here is a transgender man who feels like a woman going into that same bathroom. Do I
I promise you I didn't watch this shit, but it's just a very oh my it's just a common shit to have a scenario that poses. Watch how she avoids this question miraculously.
have a right to say no? This is not
Miraculously,
going to happen
miraculously.
for the
Oh fuck.
protection and the privacy of my daughter.
Your daughter has already used
No,
the
that's not the
bathroom
question. That's not
with
the
the
question.
transgender.
Answer that question.
You
Your,
see?
your
Answer the fucking question, bro. Why do people like this come to debate? If you just gonna avoid all the bullshit questions and answer it the way you think the question is asked, well, I hate fucking people like this, bro.
Should that be allowed if I'm against that for my daughter?
your your daughter, and the thing is, in order for me to answer questions, you can't interrupt me, and I know that's been tough for you throughout this, but like I can't answer your questions if you interrupt me when I'm
Bitch, you not answering the questions, period. Like, the victim mentality is, oh my
answering
god.
them. I don't know what your daughter does in the bathroom, but when I go to the bathroom, I have to pee or something else. And so I go into the bathroom, I go into the stall, I shut the door. And so what I'm doing in the bathroom isn't imposing on anyone else. It's taking care of
But you
my
are
bodily
imposing
function.
if it's a man who dressed like a woman and my daughter is in that bathroom, this man, he may have in his own mind think that he's a woman when in reality he's still a man. I have a right to say no, I'm not going to allow this to happen. And the transgender person doesn't have a right to impose on that. Because that's what the radical movement, homosexual.
You know what Jesse should have asked the bitch and made it so much more simple to the point that the bitch couldn't avoid the question. Okay, if you can go to the bathroom of your choice and you have that freedom that you feel comfortable, you feel safe in that bathroom, and you have that choice as a person, as a human being to make that decision, why can I not have that same choice? Why can I not have a say in the freedom of saying, listen, I don't feel comfortable and I don't feel safe with you in this bathroom with my child. Why do I as a fucking human being, as a person, not have that right, but you do? What makes that different? How is yours not imposing on my shit? You see my point? That's my fucking issue. I don't care if you're gay, if you're trans, if you're queer. I don't give a fuck what you call yourself. Just don't do it to the point where you're gonna fucking have to force that shit on me and have to make me live with your fucking rules and your standards, my nigga, and my kids. No, you're bugging the fuck out. Why are y'all so against? Cause yo, there was another conversation about this shit, bro, that I seen on TikTok. That shit got me fucking heated, gang. Like I wanna. That's the one time I made a video talking about, yo, people, please follow me. Cause yeah, I don't know how TikTok was. I was trying to join the live chat, but I couldn't join this shit until I had like 1,000 followers or some shit like that. So I was like, yo, please follow me, follow me. I'm trying to get in there. I think I still got the video up damn near. I'm like, nah, I might have deleted it. But I'm like, yo, follow me, guys. I'm trying to get into this debate, da 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 da. Because the bitch was talking about, it was damn near the same thing. The bitch was like, oh, so someone asked them, why don't y'all want y'all own bathrooms? Like, like, what's wrong with that? Why is that a problem to you people? She goes, oh, excuse me. She goes, oh, why, that's like saying black people should have their own bathrooms. No, the fuck is not, bro. No, the fuck it is not. It's talking about, oh, so you're for segregation. You not about to mix racial fucking segregation into something about fucking trans people using a fuck. You not about to put that shit in the same thing. You not about to compare being born black or being born white to being fucking transsexual, my nigga. You not about to compare the two. It is not the same. Why do they fucking make that comparison? Why is that their go-to comparison, bro? That shit blows my mind. And why the fuck are they so against just having a back? Y'all want to be your own people so badly, right? So why the fuck don't y'all want your own bathroom? If I was a trans person and I know no niggas don't want the females don't want me in the female bathroom because I'm if I'm a trans woman, the bitches don't want me in that shit no more because now I have a dick or I'm a man or whatever the fuck the case might be, and I know the niggas wouldn't want me in that shit no either because I'm a fucking I'm whatever, bro. It's vice versa. If I know I could have a place that's full of like-minded individuals like me, and we can all go in that shit, be free, do whatever the fuck we want to do, use the bathroom, fuck each other, measures each other's big fucking inverse dicks. I don't care. I would prefer that safe space versus a place where I'm constantly being harassed and abused or targeted. It's like why they don't want equality, bro. They don't want equality. They don't want to be free. They don't want to be safe. They just want to impose they will, have it their way or no other ways, bro. That's how I feel that that's how I view the LGBTQJAI, whatever the fuck community. That's how I view them niggas. They don't want to be equal. They want preferred treatment. Oh, I want to be able to, as a trans woman, I want to be able to use this man's this woman bathroom or this man's, whatever the fuck it is. I want to be able to use this woman's bathroom with my dick still and be fine with it. Y'all niggas can't say shit about that. And if your little girl sees me with my dick, oh well, I don't give a fuck. Like what that shit makes it blows me, bro. And then when something happens to them for them using that bathroom, if like I said, I'm catching an assault case, bro. I'm catching an assault and battery, bro. On God, if something happens to them, oh now it's a hate crime. Now I'm wrong for that shit. Like yo, but they don't want to avoid all. They don't want to avoid that shit at all. Like this shit makes it blows my mind. It's like the whole. Well, would you rather be in a forest with a man or a gorilla? Oh, a gorilla because no, a man with a bear or a grizzly bear. Oh, I will pick the bear because X, Y, and Z. But yeah, y'all could walk around the streets half-ass naked though, right? Y'all could go to clubs where niggas are serving alcohol to y'all, where niggas is buying you alcohol that could have done whatever to the alcohol. Y'all have no problems being half naked with your coochies out, with niggas smelling that shit 2 rows down. Y'all got no problems with that being around men. But if it's in a forest, oh, all of a sudden every fucking man on earth is gonna fucking rape you and attack you. Man, get the fuck out of here. Get the delusional shit out of here, bro. That shit blows me.
Movement is about is freedom, right? And
I
not
don't.
just he's still a man. I have a right to say no. I'm not going to allow this to happen, and the transgender person doesn't have a right to impose on that, because that's what the radical movement, homosexual movement, is about is freedom, right? And
I don't.
non-discriminate.
For the
You don't want
third
to be
time, I
discriminated.
don't know what a radical homosexual is.
Should transgender people be fighting for transgenders bathrooms rather than imposing on straight people?
Should black people be fighting for black bathrooms?
It's not the same
Should
thing.
Hand to God, I didn't watch this video. Hand to fucking God, I did not watch this video. I put it on everything. Hand to God, I didn't watch this video. This shit is fucking mind numbing.
but
It's a put down to associate being black with homosexuality.
well,
It's a disgrace to black people who have died, black and whites who fought for the freedom of black Americans based on skin color.
one
So
of the
that's
great
a put down to do that.
one of the great African American, one of my great role models, Audre Lorde, said something to the impact of there's no such thing as single issue struggles because we're not single issue people.
It's not a sin to be black, but it is a sin to be
In
a
your
homosexual
opinion,
because you can
in your
overcome
opinion,
homosexuality,
in your
but you
opinion,
cannot overcome being black. Just ask Michael Jackson; he never
and,
was able to overcome.
and I think that I don't think that most people are actually trying to overcome their homosexuality. And I think if we're actually looking at what these laws do, they are about so much more than bathrooms. It's about denying people public access. It's about jobs. It's about employment discrimination. It's about
None of
so
that
much.
is true.
It is true.
What it is, in reality, homosexual people, especially the radical ones, are not comfortable with being homosexuals, and they don't want anything or anybody around them to remind them that they're wrong. And so that's why they're trying to impose themselves on Christian bakers and
Are
same
you
bathroom,
are you
because
homosexual?
they can't handle being
Are
wrong.
you homosexual?
No, but all
So
sin
so
create
but hold
conflict.
on, but if you're not homosexual, then you can't speak for a group of
I
people
know I know what
because
I'm not a mathematician or a math teacher, but if somebody tells if I have a child and they're doing math and they say 2 plus 2 is 4, am I not? I mean, 2 plus 2 is 5 or 3 or 6, whatever the fuck the answer is. Am I not allowed to correct them and say no? 2 plus 2 is 4? because I'm not a mathematician. If my car breaks down and I know how to change my tire, oh, matter of fact, when my fender fell off on my Dodge Charger, and I looked up how to change that shit myself, and I ordered the parts and changed it myself. Can I not do that because I'm not a fucking mechanic? Can I not now? Am I now not able to speak on other people whose fenders broke and asking me, hey, how do you know how to replace fender? Yeah, bro, I got you. Gotta take this off. You gotta take that off. You gotta put this on. Da 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 da. Am I not allowed to do that because I'm not a fucking I'm not a mechanic, bro? Like, what are you? You see, such a. Oh my god, she's lost. She's lost, bro. She's lost.
Sin does for you.
But
It creates
but
conflict.
you can't. I feel great being gay.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I feel
You
fantastic.
really don't.
I feel fantastic. I've had a smile on my face the whole time.
Bitch, you've been passive aggressive the whole time. You haven't answered not one question this whole time.
I might be happier than you. I'm young. I'm successful. I own a home. I found somebody I love. I have a great degree. I feel great. It is.
A great degree that you don't use. So what's that degree for? You went to school to be a lawyer, you don't practice it. So what the fuck is that degree for? You wasted money on law school and time. Okay, cool. Like the dumbness, bro.
No way. I have not. I have not felt like I need to overcome.
And she says she doesn't practice law no more. I don't even think that's by choice. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. From the way that she's presenting herself and how she's answering shit or not answering shit, this bitch don't seem like she's gonna be able to. She could defend a fucking a head out of a fucking paper bag, bro. Yo, bro, nah. I bet you she got debarred or some crazy shit, bro.
Anything.
The one thing I can absolutely guarantee you, with all the successes that you've been able to gain, when you're alone by yourself, when no one is around to validate you, you're not being praised for your successes, reality kicks in, and you have conflict about being a homosexual. You're
I
not
don't.
happy with it.
I
I don't care
don't.
what you say. I know for a fact that
I don't.
that happens.
I'm
But I want to
sorry.
ask you about this.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
No,
but
no,
I
you're
but
not
I
disappointing
I
me.
absolutely don't. I strive to be the person that I want to be a good person, to treat other people well, and to do things that help other people. I could go be a lawyer
But you're
and make
not being
thousands of
honest because the
dollars.
whole movement
No,
is
no, 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 no,
about
no, no, no.
imposing on heterosexual
But
people.
that's not true.
It is.
It is
And
true.
it is not only is it homophobic, but it is sexist for you as a man to tell me as a woman that I
I'm
am
not
not
falling for that. Don't go there
but
with
that I
me.
am but that I am
That's not going to work.
that I'm not smart enough to know how I feel in
No,
my darkest, quietest
you're
moments.
not honest
If
about the conflict.
but if you told me, this is how I feel, I would respect you enough as a person to say, okay, I believe you, because you have no reason to lie to me.
No, no, no. I know how sin works. And
But
when we are living in sin, we have no peace. That's why we have to always find things to
but
do.
I don't feel as
At,
though I'm living in sin. I'm
Bitch, you don't even know what sin means, bro. You said sin is fucking not treating people how you want to be treated. So you don't even know what the fuck it means to sin or be sinful. So of course you don't think you living in sin, bro. You don't even think you living on earth at this point. So shit.
being open and honest with
okay,
myself.
I'll accept it. You are honoring three co-founders of the Black Lives Matter movement. Is that
Uh-huh.
right? Tell us about the event and this, what you're doing.
So the National Center for Lesbian Rights is a civil rights legal organization, and every year we have a summer gala, and it's coming up next weekend on Saturday.
I just want to know what rights lesbians or LGBTQ people don't have that straight people have. What rights can we straight people do that LGBTQ can't? Because first you comparing it to being black. That blacks actually needed a civil war. Because blacks wasn't allowed to be in the same swimming pools, the same jobs. Hell, a black man got stoned and stoned to death at a beach because he swam on the white side. Because he crossed this invisible fucking line in the water that he was supposed to know this is whites only and swam there and they stoned a nigga to death. That's some shit you need civil rights for. What lesbian is getting stoned to death for fucking going in bakeries or going into fucking bathrooms and shit? Now, If you a trans and you going into a male bathroom, bro, and you want that action, listen, you chose the risk of going there. You have that freedom to do whatever you want to do, and other niggas got the freedom to do whatever they want to do. You feel me? Especially when it's kids involved. So what rights are do y'all niggas do y'all trans LGBTQ les people what rights do single people have that you gay people don't have? Somebody please let me fucking know in a comment. Cause y'all get hired in jobs. Yeah, y'all now mostly getting hired in jobs than anything because companies are afraid of being called X, Y, and Z and being labeled X, Y, and Z. So now a lot of companies are actually hiring more trans LGBTQ to be more fucking woke or whatever fucking the term is. So tell me, what exactly do straight people have that you fucking don't? Can y'all vote? Yes. Do y'all have the freedom of speech? Obvious, you're a perfect definition of that. Do y'all have the right to go to school? Yes. Get education? Yes. Do y'all have nigga? Yeah, bro. They're trying to pass laws that health insurance pays for for trans people surgery now for gender reassignment surgery. In the military, for I heard from a boy, I don't know if this is true, he's in the military. He says now the military will pay for you to get that service done in the military. And they can't say no to that. So tell me, what fucking right do we have that y'all niggas don't have? Please let me know.
in San Francisco, and the three young women who started Black Lives Matters are going to get an award. And I think for us, it's important as an organization. Back to the
The scammers,
issue,
the people the three women that started Black Lives Matter, the scammers, those are the people that you're associating yourself with? Okay.
that I said that there's no such thing as single issues because we're not single issue folks. It's important for us to realize in the LGBT community that as long as anybody is being oppressed, then we will never have full equity, full equality. And so it's been really inspirational to watch these three women really change the way we talk about race as a country and be fearless in their fight for justice.
Black Lives Matter is an agitative, radical, evil group of people. They're worse than the KKK. Why are you guys honoring them?
I don't think that in asking that people respect our lives, that you can ever equate them to the KKK.
No, they're worse than the KKK. You don't see Black Lives Matter in the hoods. If they truly cared about black lives, why don't they go into those areas and stop the black on black crime? These
I
people are not just, they're not very, you might not be aware of this, but they're not honest people.
Why like people love to ride when it's a cop like when it's a cop killing a nigga, but when it's a nigga killing a nigga, oh shit, it's just niggas being niggas. Black lives matter to who? It damn sure don't matter to black people. We kill each other more. We kill ourselves more than any other population. So black lives matter to who, gang? Shit is insane.
I think I'm more aware than you give me credit for, but again, it's because I think you're a little condescending, but it's okay. I won't hold it against you.
Bitch, you're the condescending one. You're the condescending one.
But
How am I
I do
condescending? By telling the
we
truth?
because of time, we cannot go into it.
You're helping two lesbian transition a daughter by the name of Raylan into a transgender boy, and you're giving them a courage award. Um, is there courage in doing wrong?
I think there is courage in living openly. I think there's courage in living freely. And I think there is courage in loving your children unconditionally and supporting them no matter who they are.
So you don't think that it's evil for parents to transgender this little girl before she's old enough to make her own decision into a boy?
It's
You don't
hard.
think that's evil?
It's hard. It's hard to answer your question. First of all, transgender is not a verb. You can't transgender someone.
I
But you know,
mean, why not wait and let this kid grow up to make her own decision? What's the
I
rush?
If you don't know this kid,
especially when it's something that you can't get turned back.
then you can't you literally cannot speak to what this child feels in their heart, you can't speak
But yet there's so many laws about dating underage male or female underage kids. There's so many laws about people over the age of 21 dating underage kids. If a kid is young enough to know and have the brain power capacity at whatever age that little girl is to be like, you know what, I am a boy, I want to be in a boy's body, and you're so convinced you're gonna make them do a surgery that they cannot fucking change back, but they're young enough to make those decisions. How come people that are 16, 17, 18, 19 make well, I guess that's the fuck it, 16 and 17 make the legal decision. Well, why are they not fucking break mentally developed enough to make the decision to I want to be with a 21-year-old, 22, 23, 24, however the fucking age is? Why can't they make that decision? Why can't children, if children are smart enough and more and as emotionally developed to be able to know that they're trapped in a wrong fucking body, which once again is all propaganda bullshit, bro, because none of this shit was all of these children being this way is because propaganda. They lit in this shit. They got drag queens twerking in front of fucking little kids and shit, gang. I don't even want a grown woman twerking in front of my child, let alone a fucking drag queen. They got trans people having speeches talking about, oh, it's okay to accept yourself as X, Y, and Z. It's okay to do this, and that as a child if you don't feel da 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 da. But the child can't. They could do all that, but they can't decide to drink if they want to drink while they're under 21. They're not allowed to even drive or have without supervision out under the age of 18, 17 in some states. They're not allowed to smoke weed unless they're a certain age. They can't vote unless they're a certain age. So why is it that they think they can make the decision of I want to be I was born a whole nother person. I want to be a boy. Do you think that they're okay to do that? If your child comes home and says, if you're white, if my son comes home or my daughter comes home and say, "Hey, daddy, I want to be white. I am white. I'm white, daddy." No, the fuck you're not. You're African. You're black. You're not even American African. You're African African. You're black. No, you are not white. But yet the same shit, daddy. I think I'm a boy. I want to be a boy. You know what? Okay. You know what? Let's get you to surgery. Let's go snip off your balls and put a coochie in there. But they're old enough to make that decision. Yo, society is fucking just followed by logic, then rationale. We are doomed as a human race. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. We are doomed as a human race, cause those people, they're now starting to become like voices like mine or people that have thoughts like me. We're slowly becoming the minority. We are slowly becoming the minority because of how much shit is being pushed. Society is getting fucked.
to what this child is experiencing, we are losing. Not speak to what this child feels in their heart. You can't speak to what this child is experiencing. We are losing transgender youth every day at an astronomical number. And so the rush, the urgency is not losing another life.
Well, the reason that they're losing their lives because they have conflict within themselves due to sin, and no
But
one
you
is
don't know
helping
that.
them to overcome that.
But you don't know
Rather
that.
than dealing with that, they're trying to change the body parts and make Christians accept it.
We're losing them because they're surrounded by people who are full of hate instead
That's
of
not
full
it
of
at all.
love.
That's not true.
And
Absolutely not true.
but
And
we
that's
can
the
agree
thing
to
that the
disagree.
radicals use. They say, oh, you're discriminating. Christians have a right to disagree, just as the homosexuals have a right to disagree. But
And so
you
we
agree
can't.
with a parent that would take their little child and change the body
I
part
agree with the parent who
on
would
that
love their
child
child.
from a
I
girl to
I
a boy.
agree with the parent who would love their
That's
child
not love.
because I've been
Damn
That
You,
sure
is
not love.
not love.
in your
I know
Damn
opinion,
sure
love.
not love.
in your
That is not
opinion,
love.
in your
Because
you
if they,
haven't treated me with love today. I don't know that you
I'm
know
giving you
love.
total love.
I I
You're not
I
having fun?
He hasn't disrespected you. He hasn't called you out your name. He didn't say that no hateful shit. He hasn't been as blunt, as rude as I'm being. So I'm pretty sure he's treating you with a lot more love than you definitely than you're treating him. You're not even answering the fucking questions in the debate.
I disagree. It might not be
You look
fun.
like you're having fun.
Because I'm a nice person and because I have
You
very
are.
cute dimples. And so I always look like I'm having a
That's
good
right.
time.
I want to ask you about Kurt. Is it Schillings?
Shilling.
Schilling?
Shilling.
Yeah, he worked for ESPN,
Mm-hmm.
and he posted a meme on Facebook where he had this big bully guy dressed in drag and said something like, "Would you want this guy to go into your daughter's bathroom?" He was fired for that. Was ESPN
Crazy.
right in firing him for expressing himself on his own Facebook page?
I think once you decide to be an employee for a company, you have to know their rules. And when Kurt
I'm done. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. This bitch is moving the goalposts from every which way she can, bro. That the goalpost is in the fucking air right now, bro. The bar is in goddamn is in the bottom of the sea. James Cameron can't even get this one, my niggas. Like we cooked. James Cameron is not reaching that bar down there like that. That bar is down in the stuck. You feel me? That shit is stupid going. Yo, this. I really got nothing else to say. Not gonna lie to you. I really got nothing else to say. I said it all. The video is an hour long. I did not expect that shit to be that long. But I said it all. I got nothing else to say, bro. If y'all Jesus fucking Christ society. If y'all like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Crazy work, bro.